Alright, welcome back to Super Sentai Review, episode 444. We're reviewing the last 7 episodes of ToQger. Yep. So in 41, basically, we reveal the old cast members on top of their town, and basically the Emperor starts going nuts because of the whole drop period. Yeah, this is still during the same story arc, basically, the Christmas stuff. Where also during this, basically, the Rangers find out that Miss Grace actually is still alive inside the Emperor, but he can't leave. You know, we're going to a little bit later on the reason why she can't leave, because something disastrous will happen. So Schwartz basically tries to kill the Emperor because he still thinks that this will free Miss Greta. And eventually, during this, Madame Noir does eventually free her daughter from the Emperor. And then the Emperor proceeds to murder Madame Noir. Yeah, kills her and then kills General Schwartz. Actually, Schwartz basically sacrificed himself in order to protect Miss Greta, and then basically gives her his Darkliner. Yep, and both these two are dead. Yep, they're mentioned frequently. I think General Schwartz mentioned a few times after this for the remaining episode, but Madame Noir once, maybe twice, and presumably the Emperor Zed killed in this episode. It looked like he killed Mauk and Baron Nero. But they came back in 43 because 42 is most of the clip. So in 42, it's like Wright wants to go charging in, but looking up basically, well, looking up in the case of what happens here, Akira stops him in time, and then they just proceed to have a clip show right afterwards. After the plot development that was the previous 3 episodes, this one just feels like basically it's like, oh, let's have a clip show because we only have 5 more episodes left. So that's all the recap we have here, and then they proceed to the very next one, where, like, after the whole clip show, the next episode's like, oh, they're just being attacked by another monster, Dollhouse Shadow, which they take Takashi and Kagura, and they go inside this dollhouse, which, this is weird, because I saw this interior, I'm like, wait a minute, this is the same mansion scene from Kamen Rose. You know, one of the last series I watched for this one? Yes, seriously. Like I said, I see this, I'm like, what? Yeah, it's not the only deja vu we see here. We'll get more in the next few episodes. I thought this was interesting, and eventually, yeah, this is the same exact interior. Like, I think it's maybe the same mansion they used, from that show, even though when this came out, it had been a few years since it was last seen. Like, unless you watch O's, you might be thinking, what do you mean by mansion from O's? Well, the true main bad guy of the series, Dr. Miki, his childhood home, that's what this place is. It's like Toei went back to this place for use for the interior, and then at one point when basically you have Shadow Doll, the dollhouse Shadow giant size, basically they happen where the mech goes inside the dollhouse, and you see the mech almost like normal size inside a freaking house. Yes, no way this be impossible. But kayfabe probably the reason. Now in story, the reason why, because the thing shrunk down along with the monster. But this is a freaking Megazord, and it's inside this house like it's going on a set. It is hilarious. Eventually they're going to destroy it, but yeah, it was funny. And then in episode 44, and then the end of the episode, okay, we need to go to Star Mechanics because of the whole stuff related to, like, the heck is protected by this wall of darkness. And so, also in 43, they hint at this, where supposedly Kaga and Taki are supposedly dead. So Kira witnesses this. Wright has some darkness. There's a hint of this. And then it's explored in the next episode. When they finally break into the area where Chaos Terminal is, well, And it turns out that, yeah, he does have a fragment of darkness. Zed's darkness. Yes, explained that when Zed tried to consume their town, apparently he tried to grab the kids for some reason. So, Wright steps out of the hand-holding thing, touches him, and it's him because of the bracelet on his wrist. And somehow a fragment of his darkness is inside of Wright. Yes. And then Wright, well, inside of the darkness where the Chaos Terminal is, well, the train is shot down by the Emperor himself. And Mr. brings in, and of course they go to the tunnels. Apparently underneath the Chaos Terminal, I suddenly saw, I was like, wait a minute. These are frequently used tunnels. These have been used a lot over the years. Here's some examples. The earliest series I have ever seen this in, this has been seen in Commander Black in like one episode. This was a recurring tunnel scene in Masked Man. Heck, they reused this after this for King Onger. Yes, for King Onger. So they had basically 5 of the 6 Rangers with Miss Greta going to these tunnels, and then while Wright battles the Emperor, he morphs into the black ToQger ToQger 1 Black, where it's like very shiny. Like, I like the suit. It's a really cool looking suit. And he does metamorph this a couple times. And apparently he's battling with darkness, which I thought this was interesting. Excuse me, Miss Greta, this has been completely unusual. Instead of, now, he actually does free the town by, well, moving the castle terminal. Not destroying it per se, moving it. I'm like, that is interesting. I never thought anybody can move the damn thing. So, they're not disconnecting it, and of course the town is basically freed. After, the way it's mentioned here, it looks like it's been under the control of the Shadow Line for about a year. But yeah, according to people there, it's like no time's passed by. Oh, and how they get out of the field after basically, at one point, so when they go back into the field, Wright goes in by himself without Akira. So basically, the 4 of the original 5 have to say anything to turn back the kids by taking away their passes. And then when the train leaves, they turn back into children, reunite with their families. Wright doesn't remember his because he's got part of the dragon inside him. So they eventually do remember, thanks to Akira putting pictures at their secret base. Then they do remember, and of course they write on the back end of their own version of past, which they had to basically be accepted in the machine, despite the fact it's just literally a photograph. But they use their imagination, and they turn back into adults. They morph, and of course they get out of the train. They get out of the darkness and the whole. Yeah, here's the thing though, that so after supposedly killing Miss Greta, Zed's like, you guys want me to basically the whole world in darkness? Fine. Let's do that. And Baroner's like, yippee! We're going to basically shroud the world in darkness. Like, he's so happy. That it's like, well, we're going to do what you want to do. Basically, it's like, yeah. Oh, by the way, like, how it's explained, like, what's the shininess he basically saw? He has explained in the last episode, it was paper lanterns. That's the shininess he saw. Paper lanterns. And somehow the light from those things got to turn on the train and get them out of the darkness, which I thought was really cool. And, by the way, they actually have where the cast terminal turns to a monster. And I see this, I'm like, at one point you have Wright basically battling all the crows. And then the closest he ever gets to get inside of the cast terminal is to throw his sword inside. And then Zed throws right back at him. And I'm like, Wright, go inside and battle Zed in his freaking throne room. But no. I'm like, I always love it whenever you have the Rangers basically break into the villain's base and actually it's the area where they basically been strategizing the entire frickin' series. By the way, they did do this in King Onger. I'm counting, even though it was basically a mech battle, but I'm counting that. Did this happen in ToQger, the very previous series? Yes, it did. Did it happen in Go Busters? They kind of did. I would say yes. What about Go Kaicher? Oh, heck yes. Go Sager? Yes. Me. Sharkanger? Nope. Go Onger? Yep. That certainly did happen. Okay. Bokenger? I would say not really. They never technically had a base operation for these villains. They just had random places they basically broke into. Head. Okay. Magiranger? Yes. Deca Ranger? They never had one. The villains never had power base. They basically operated in the open. Okay. Alba Ranger? I would definitely say yes. Hurricaneger? Yes. Gal Ranger? Yes. Time Ranger? No. Go-Go 5? Yes. Gigaman? Nope. Mega Ranger? I'm going to say kind of yes. O-Ranger? Kind of. Kaku Ranger? Oh, heck yes. Die Ranger? Yes. Zoo Ranger? Yes. Jetman? They broke in the basement of the strategy room, per se. They got kind of close. I'm going to say kind of, but not really. Turbo Ranger? 5-man? Yes. Turbo Ranger? Yes. Live Man? Yes. All the shorter series except for Dynaman. That's the only one that doesn't happen. So I would say the previous 38 Sentai, the overall this is over 38 when they were released. Out of the 38 that was released, only 3 or 4 that's never happened with the Rangers never broke into the villain's base. And so far, the ones I've seen, these ones did not happen in it. Dynaman. Gigaman. Time Ranger. Okay. Well, looks like I'm going to do part 2 when I get back, okay?